Welcome to block 4. In block 4 we're going to use our Flying Geese ruler a little differently than we have been. You're going to start with one of your large squares and you're going to sew one of the squares that you cut in half in the diagonal to this one. I went and got my notes so I could tell you what letter is what. So I am sewing a B triangle onto an A square. Now I've gone to the ironing board, and I hope you can tell on camera, I have pressed this unit in half both ways to find where the center of each side is. I then press my triangles in half, matching these long corners, and press those in half right here. And now I have a crease that I can match with my square. So I'm finding the center of both units. And these have been oversized, just like we have on our other Flying Geese unit. And I'm going to match those centers. And I wanted to show you that they're going to hang off. They're supposed to. And so I'm going to sew this one on, and then I'm going to sew the one on the opposite side. So I can go ahead and get both of these pinned before I go to the ironing board. And now I'm going to go to the ironing board. I'm going to sew with the square up, and I'm doing a 1/4 inch on both sides. Now I have pressed these towards the triangles on the back side of my square. Now I'm going to do the same thing, matching where my crease lines are. And I'm going to sew the other 2 triangles to the square. And then I'm going to press towards the triangles. Now it's time for using that Flying Geese ruler in a different method. Here's my 6.5 inch ruler, and you can see how big my unit is. It's way bigger than 6.5. And I need it to be 6.5 when I get all done. So with my Flying Geese ruler, I can nudge it right up into the corner and trim off a little bit on this side and this one, and a little bit on this side. I know some of you won't switch your hands to your left, but I'm going to. And those aren't off yet, but I'm going to do this on all 4 sides, and I'll get a perfect 6.5 when I'm all done. So we'll just trim this off. Snug it in there where it's supposed to be. And I've gotten all 4 sides. I've got perfect seams on all 4 of these. And if I get that 6.5 inch ruler out here again, it is a perfect 6.5 inch ruler, or 6.5 inch square. Now I need to make 2 of those. I have the dark one, but I'm going to do the same thing with the darker square and my lighter triangles. So I've made my other triangle now, and I'm going to show you how to use that Flying Geese ruler one more time to trim this down to a perfect 6.5 inch square. So I snug it right into the peak of that, which would be a goose if it was a Flying Geese, and trim off parts. It doesn't all come off, but most of it does, on the top particularly. Then just switch it till you get another corner and snug it right into where the geese would be if it was a Flying Geese. Trim it off. Turn it again. Get it right up snug in there. And trim. And this time I think everything's going to come off. And I have my perfect 6.5 inch square. Now you have 2 or 4 rectangles, and on these rectangles you're going to sew them to each side of this square. Well, you're going to sew the 2 squares together first. So you're going to make 3 rows. You can either make your rows go across and sew these 2 to that one, or you can make 3 rows going up and down, but however you choose to do it. And there we have block 4.